Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we had a pretty interesting weekend. Democrats, no matter what they do and what they try to do, they continue to make complete fools of themselves. On Saturday, last Saturday, Democrats had a nationwide hands-off protest. And really, they should take that word for granted and actually tell their fellow friends, their terrorist friends that love burning Teslas, to kind of have their hands off of the Teslas. But I actually thought maybe they're actually protesting the violence in their own party. But no. Democrats, they never could do such a thing. No, they're mad that they're doing a protest over the false conspiracy theory that Elon Musk is taking away people's social security, and someone who does get social security services. I can tell you, I'm getting my social security. It's not stopped. I never had problems with it whatsoever. And the Democrats, they're just coming up with these wild stories to get people mad. And regardless, I really don't think they're mad about Social Security. I don't really think they're mad about Elon Musk. I think they're just pro-progressive, pro-far left, and they ultimately want to make noise in opposition against Trump. These are the people that have done this for 8 years now. 2017, 2018, people say, oh, it's back to 2017. No. Well, here's the difference, guys. In 2017, the moderate crowd, independent crowds, they fell for it. Moderate crowds, they don't like it. Honestly, why? Well, what do you think? If you hear someone screaming on the plane for 8 hours, do you have good feelings towards that person? No, you don't. You really don't. You start to get really angry and really annoyed, and that's kind of what a lot of moderates, everyday normal working Americans are feeling right now. They're going to work and they're seeing these crazy high calorie women, low testosterone men waving their inconvenient and irrelevant signs in the air like their opinion actually matters. No, get out of the road and let me get to work. They are ridiculous. And honestly, Democrats, we know they continue to make a fool of themselves. On April 1st, they said, oh, the Democratic Party's back, as we knew they would. But honestly, they really did surprise me. I actually thought they would surge. I thought their approval rating would go up, because I thought the AOCs, the Jasmine Crockett Democrats, the Democrats, or more relevantly, the James Carville Democrats, they would go and say, oh, well, good job, Democrats. I approve of this. You got us a Supreme Court seat that we already had. But no, their approval rating's at 21%. 21%. And it's staying there. No, it's too, I mean, let's be honest. If there was a surge, we would have got it by now. There is no surge from the Wisconsin Supreme Court race, which tells you everything where this party is going. And today we're talking about 3 key states that are literally ditching the Democratic Party. The first state is the state of Pennsylvania, in which Democrats have an advantage. But let's be honest, Democrats had an advantage in the state for a very long time. That's not really the advantage anymore. Republicans have gained 1,566 registered voters in the month of March. Okay? Democrats are losing ground. 5,744. And it's actually, yeah, sure, Republicans aren't gaining. I get it. But you have, of course, the swing states, of course, third parties, 3,000, because we know a lot of these people leaving from the Democratic Party, they're center-left, they're left-wing. They're not going to join the right-wing party. No way. They're going to join, because they leave the Democratic Party. Guys, a lot of us seem to think since they leave the Democratic Party, they're going to go to the Republican Party, or they sympathize with the Republican Party. No, they don't. No, there's still blowhard left-wingers. Like that walk away campaign. Yeah, a lot of them don't like Trump. A lot of them don't like Elon. A lot of them don't like Republicans, but they are leaving the Democratic Party for various reasons. For instance, a lot of them don't like how the Democrats are running their things. They don't like their whole progressive in regards to everything else except for men and women's sports. And that's just the same issue. Democrats got so insane in regards to that. So more people are leaving, third parties are gaining, but hey, just because third parties are gaining, that doesn't mean that GOP isn't doing well. I think the GOP is doing great because you got third parties gaining more. We just want the Democrat registration to tank, and Democrat registration tanking altogether is a good win for Republicans. They are gaining 1,566, but keep in mind, yeah, you got some Democrats that are switching sides to Republicans. I would say they describe them as more of the conservative Democrats, the moderate Democrats, in other words. But it's expected third party is going to gain more. What would a 92,378 advantage look like in Cook political swingometer, you might ask? So that's a good question. Let's see. Looking at Pennsylvania, you're seeing Democrats. Let's see if they have an advantage here by margin. Shoot. I want to know the margin, though. Like, Harris, wait. Like, taking this, we're actually going to do it. We're going to say, hey, taking the 2020 results, which I doubt they're actually the 2020 results, but they're pretty close. Do subtraction. You got a 82,151,000. So, yeah, ideally, Democrats have more registered voters, compared to the Democratic 2020 result. Democrats are saying, oh, this is great. Well, not so much. Just because we got to remember, registered Democrats by county, let's see. Pennsylvania voting registration by county. Take a look at this. Yeah, you'll see, look at this. You got counties like Laverne County. That county's solid Republican, but by registration, this county is pretty Democratic. This county historically used to be a Democratic stronghold. It's got more Republican now. Why? Because, well, I'll tell you, it's probably because of the working class, once again, going for the Republicans. It used to be an Obama county. It switched over and voted for Trump by double digits 3 times. And I would say, yeah, it's a red county, but on registration, it's technically still Democratic, even though it hasn't voted Democratic in, well, they did vote for Shapiro, but Shapiro won by a landslide. You have to set the standards pretty high for him. You also have Bucks County, pretty tight there, but it's mostly Republican. This is data from September 2024. I would assume some things have changed. A lot has changed since the election. There is some data from, I don't know where this was from. Some data says that Beaver County still blue, Fayette County still blue, Berks County is blue, Laverne County's really blue. I am not sure where they got this data from. I would assume, in all honesty, that this would be from 2021, but I honestly do not know. So I would say, looking at, let's see, the 2020 election, where you got the same map, the same projection here. I'm just going to say, well, so I want to get to 92,000. That our number was 82,151. We're doing a little bit of math. So 92,300. So we're looking for a increase of, we're going to do addition this time, doing our math. I do not like these math videos. Math, as you can clearly see, is not my strength. So we Democrats have, let's see. Oh, never mind. This is 100. Shoot. We're doing a subtraction. You know what I mean. Okay. This is the number. 10. Let's see. 1,000. Whoops. 220. So it's something like that. Or 10,000. I think it's 10,000 more. 10,000 more votes compared to the 2020 election. That isn't done. Again, a lot of those Democrats in Pennsylvania, at least 9,000 of them, this is pretty good. They vote Republican. They like Trump. So this is kind of interesting. Let's see. Changing the demographics around can be interesting here. So I would say let's do 61. Well, okay, let's see. Let's check. Okay, now it's no longer a Democrat advantage. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and say maybe African American is down 88%. Hispanic American, 62%. 63% for Asian American. Let's see how the demographics have changed. That doesn't make sense, though. Okay. We would say ideally by registration. African American would be 92. Hispanic, maybe 65. So, yeah, sadly, we're giving numbers to Democrats because we forgot. Yeah, technically, registration is way better compared to the 2020 results. But this is the actual this is the 2020 results. 82,000. We want specifically okay. Now it's 113. A lot has changed. Okay, so I would say it still looks like this for the most part by registration data. I have a hard time believing by demographic Laverne. I mean, Laverne still is blue by registration, but by, let's just say, demographic-wise, election-wise, excuse me, it's Republican. I mean, it's guaranteed to be Republican. It's 60% for Trump, I want to believe, or 56, 57%. But this is pretty much our current numbers by registration, where things are by registration. My alignment You guys can count Laverne County as a blue county if you want. I really don't think of it as such. But these are where things currently stand right now in the state of Pennsylvania. Our second state is going to be the state of New Jersey, which, if you guys are paying attention, we have an important election in November, the New Jersey governor's race, in which Republicans are feeling very good about this race. I did mention that Red Eagle Politics feels really good about it. I was like, I'm not so sure. He put New Jersey more of a likely win than Virginia, which is actually really good. I had a disagreement about that, but then I saw the debate. Oh no, the debate for the New Jersey primaries. Oh boy. And we looked at the Democratic primaries, and you have every single one of them, except for Mikey Sherrill. She's probably the only one who I really hope doesn't win the nomination, who is actually not doubling down on why Democrats lost this election. But every single one of them were doing fake outrage and virtue signaling about trans people being in trans men. Excuse me, allowing them to be in women's bathrooms. And I'm like, what? Do you want to lose? Do you want to lose? Do you want to lose the governorship? Nope, because this is clearly what they stand for. Ross Baraka is probably the worst, the mayor of New York. And honestly, I hope he wins. I hope he gets nominated. Guys, I meant it and still do. We have a primary in June, early June. Vote for Ross Baraka in the Democratic primaries. I doubt it's a close primary. Vote for him. Why? Because we know Jack Ciattarelli is going to win the nomination. He is leading by 80%. He is no sweat. He is going to win this. Mikey Sherrill is leading by the polls like 17%. Mikey Sherrill is lead by 7 points. Ross Baraka is surging. There's a good chance that Baraka could become the nominee. And if that's the case, then Republicans have the leverage in New Jersey. They have what it takes. If Sherrill is a nominee, we are going to have to put a lot more into New Jersey. And we will anyway, but we would have to expect a Sherrill victory. Because then again, it's her class and it's her type of politics that usually runs New Jersey. But we need unhinged politicians like Ross Baraka, who's no different than Brandon Johnson from Chicago, to run New Jersey. No, just running this election, who's running on this very far left platform on anti-white supremacy, this AOC, Bernie Sanders-like style, and he's basically representing the old New York Democrats, in which New York is trying to distance themselves. New Jersey is trying to distance themselves from. So I'm very optimistic about this New Jersey governor's race. I'm very optimistic if Ross Baraka gets wins the Democratic nomination, but otherwise, I think Republicans will put a lot of effort if the polls are correct, that if Sherrill is the winner, they'll have to put more concentration into that. But in regards to voting registration in New Jersey, yes, Democrats have almost 1 million of advantage. I'm not surprised. In fact, I would go as far as saying that in reality, that it's probably looking like the 2020 map. Let's be honest. This data is dating back. I don't want to say this data. The results and registrations are very comparable to the last election rather than this election cycle, right? The election cycle the previous election than the last election. You can clearly see vote difference and margin-wise. Let's see. It's loading. All right. So, yeah, 2 million. This is 2020 numbers. All right. So, yeah, we got the numbers being placed in front of us that is 7,250 million votes. Okay, that is the 2020 results. Our current registration results are 829,000. Okay, so ideally, Democrats, let's see, they would be, by registration, I would say counties they ended up carrying almost. Monmouth County, I would say, is pretty Republican. I would say it looks pretty close to like this by registration. Democrats are still carrying Atlanta County, even though I do consider it to be Republican, since Democrats never won the county in 5 years in any sort of race. Cumberland County, same deal. But Democrats are still leading by registration, similar to how Democrats are still leading by registration in Laverne County, or even Beaver County, allegedly. But this is what it's looking like. Do you think Republicans can still win New Jersey despite almost 500,000 of registration? Yes, you could clearly see that Donald Trump did make somewhat of a performance in Pennsylvania. These were the same numbers in Pennsylvania back in 2016. And Trump ended up winning it. In being an off-year election, in which I do think Republicans do have the advantage when it comes to capacity voters. Republicans have a reason to go out and vote. Democrats will be more complacent in November. They will be like, yeah, this is going to be a Democrat race anyway. This state, New Jersey's blue. I might as well continue to keep my schedule on. There's not like this race is going to be helping me in any way. There's no real reason to go and vote. While Republicans, they have a reason. People that are concerned of crime, I would assume that if this is a Baraka versus Cincinnati race, that Cincinnati would be winning the moderate vote. He would be winning the suburbs, which is key to winning New Jersey, by the way. Honestly, I think it would be a good shot at victory. You can clearly see the trends of New Jersey going rightward have been big. Why is New Jersey aggressively going rightward? Oh, it's just because of New York, right? New York, and the fact that New York City doesn't just affect New York City, doesn't just affect New York, it affects New Jersey. And even though New York City is not in New Jersey, it's close enough that its policies are impacting the state. I mean, let's be honest. New Jersey, they're kind of at war with New York right now over the the state of New York ripping off New Jersey residents when it comes to the tax and the busing and the transits of these New Jerseyans that are working in New York. And I would say, no, that's the bare minimum of why New Jersey is shifting red. It's the crime, okay? It's getting out of control. You have idiots, insane Marxists like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC. You got Jamal Bowman, who is not in office anymore, but still, he's just one bad example. Ralph Nader. You got these weird, wacko people. And yeah, Mayor Eric Adams, he has moderated a bit, but he's unpopular. He's the reason that, like, his poor leadership, very weak leadership, has resulted in the city falling back when it comes to crime. Yeah, sure, he's helping with the ICE raids. Yeah, that's good. But I would say, like, this is because, of course, he wants a pardon, you know. He got his pardon, and he'll have to. But honestly, before that, he could care less about law enforcement. So yes, New Jersey's going right. It went right in 2021 by a lot. Everyone thought, oh, it would go back to the blue side again. Nope. In fact, it went even hardcore to the right in the presidential race and in the Senate race. And if this is true, this isn't because of, once again, and I'm surprised too, because the presidential race and the Senate race, people told us that all the women in New Jersey, the hype in urban and suburban areas, the suburban woman would carry Harris to victory. Did it carry her to victory? No, it didn't. It absolutely didn't. She got only 5.91%. That is embarrassing. And if, sure, she won the suburban vote or whatever, I have confidence that we will get Ciattarelli at least till a defeat by 4 points. I am not so sure how it's going to look. That reminds me, I haven't released a prediction. I should really release a prediction in regards to New Jersey, but I am not sure how this will look on paper. But I am confident that, hey, we have 8 months roughly. Well, not 8 months. We got less. Probably around that. Around 8 months to actually get it together. Try to strategize and plan, get Ciattarelli nominated, and ultimately figure out who the nominee is going to be so we can attack him or her. But yeah, that's New Jersey. But we ain't done yet. We got to talk about North Carolina. And North Carolina, you can clearly see, yes, Republicans are losing 15,311. You'll see, and not to be mentioned, it's not like the third party isn't losing anything either. It's ironic. So I'm not really knowing where these votes were going, period. But as you can clearly see, Republicans have an 80,254 advantage. Taking the 2024 results, and we can even do the 2020 results if it's close, a 80,000 vote advantage. And I personally think 2020 is a bad example. 2024 is a bad example. Maybe 2022. Okay, this is the number. You'll see Trump won the state by 183,000 votes. Okay? That's way more. So that's like 100 votes more compared to the actual Republican registration. 100,000 votes more, excuse me. But going back to 2020, I think these are more accurate numbers, but I could be wrong. Okay, now this is the GOP advantage back in 2020 in regards to votes. Yeah, Trump won the state by 74,483 votes in 2020, meaning that, yeah, you got some Republicans that didn't vote for Trump or voted for Biden or voted for a third party. So obviously, I would say ideally Trump would do a little bit better than that. So going to North Carolina, let's see. Yeah, you got Nash County. Now, I would think Republicans would win there. So, yeah, I'm going to register this in as the demographic prediction. Voter registration. So, yeah. So, Nash, I would say, yeah, it's Republican by registration. For sure. Pasquotank, I would say, yes, it's Republican. Although it is pretty close. Pasquotank has been Democrat for a while. So I'm not necessarily sure. Or maybe Republicans just took over a registration. Yeah, you'll see 51,000 votes. So I would say Pasquotank is Republican. New Hanover I do think the Democrats have a certain advantage. Or actually, do they have a certain advantage? I am not so sure. Yeah, I do think in regards to the vote, this is probably what we're looking at. This actually might be the 2024 result by the 2024 result actually might be the demographic. And I think this is. Actually, no, because we had this county right here. It was close, though. That county ended up going for Trump, but by registration, it's still Democratic. But this is kind of what I'm looking at in regards to the registration by county. So it looks pretty accurate. Nothing really alarming. The Democrats will probably spin this and say, oh, Republicans are losing. Well, Democrats, let's take a look at Democrats. Are they losing in... they're losing more in North Carolina. Hey, I mean, they have no room to talk here. Yeah, Republicans are losing, but the Democrats, they are losing more. And they don't want to do that in a state so vulnerable like North Carolina. This is very similar to how Florida went downhill. And yes, it's true. It's true when it comes to, like, North Carolina is a very difficult state for Democrats to win. In regards, yeah, and they pulled it off in 2008 pretty well. Due to African American turnout, in which it's very hard to actually get the African American turnout in North Carolina. Not to mention non-college graduates. You can actually clearly see Obama did win that Native American county. That's very Republican. The Black Belt, you'll see 60%, 70% here. Mecklenburg County. This played out well for him, but how much did he win the state by again? How much? 0.32%. And yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting it. Polls indicated it would be a tight race, but most polls were saying it was going to be Republican at the end of the night. Mainly toss-up, but only electoralvote.com said it would be Democratic. It ended up being Democratic, mainly because in 2008, North Carolina was characterized as a red state. The last time it voted for a Republican was it was in 1976. So, characterized overall as a blue state, red states back then, turning Republican was, you could say this shocked everyone, but I think more people were shocked about Virginia than they were about North Carolina, because Virginia hadn't voted for Democrats since 1964. So that was a big record to break. But anyway, this is our current registration data in these three key swing states. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below. And as always, I will see you all in the next political episode.